Every single day, millions of dollars vanish, stolen in silence, ripped from the hands of hardworking people just like you. Maybe it happens through an email that looked too real to question. Maybe it was a phone call that sounded just professional enough to trust. Or maybe it was a smooth-talking advisor who promised the world but left you with nothing. From fake investment schemes to elaborate Ponzi operations, fraudsters are more creative, more convincing, and more relentless than ever. And here's the harsh truth. They don't stop on their own. They don't just disappear. They move from one victim to the next, perfecting their scams along the way, leaving a trail of broken trust and financial devastation. But what if this time was different? What if one person, one report, one phone call, one brave witness could stop them in their tracks? That's the power of action.
Most scams only come to light when victims speak up. Investigators can't be everywhere, but when you share what you've seen, they can connect the dots. Your story might be the missing piece that uncovers an entire criminal network. Imagine your experience saving dozens, even hundreds of people from losing everything. But let's be honest, speaking up isn't always easy. Victims often feel embarrassed. They blame themselves for trusting the wrong person. They fear being judged, or they wonder if reporting will even make a difference. And scammers count on that silence. They rely on shame to keep their victims quiet, so they can keep profiting off the next one. It's time to break that cycle. For many families, falling victim to fraud isn't just about losing money. It's about losing trust, peace of mind, and security. A scam doesn't just drain a bank account, it shakes the very foundation of your home. It can leave you feeling powerless, embarrassed, and even afraid to answer your phone or check your email. You may never know when a scam will appear, or how convincing it might be. Scammers spend every day perfecting their tricks. They know how to sound official, how to tug at your emotions, how to make you feel like you have to act right now. But here's the good news. Scams can be stopped. And it starts with knowing the warning signs, because when you know what to look for, you're not just protecting your wallet, you're protecting your family's future. From phishing calls to fake investment opportunities. You'll see how scammers trick even the smartest people, why their tactics work, and most importantly, how you can fight back. Knowledge is power. When you know the red flags, you can stop a scam before it starts. And when you report fraud, you're helping protect not just yourself, but your neighbours, your community, and families everywhere. Scammers use sophisticated tactics, from glossy advertisements to fake investment opportunities. They make promises that seem too good to be true, because they are. Every report, every warning helps investigators see the bigger picture. They make promises that seem too good to be true, because they are. They know the exact words that spark excitement and fear. They know how to pressure you into making a decision fast. And they know that if they look polished and professional, most people won't stop to question them. Fraud has gone digital. Scammers now use email, text messages, and social media to reach millions of people at once, all from behind a screen. They run fake investment clubs, crypto exchanges, romance scams, and even fake charities, all designed to separate you from your money. Every report, every warning, helps investigators see the bigger picture. One phone call might not be enough to shut a scammer down, but dozens or hundreds of reports can create a map of where the fraudsters operate, who they target, and how they move their money. When you report fraud, you are adding a piece to that puzzle. Investigators at the FTC IRS Criminal Investigation and the US Postal Inspection Service rely on these pieces to build cases, find suspects, and recover stolen funds. The more people who speak up, the stronger the case becomes, and the faster law enforcement can shut the scammers down. Your voice isn't just important, it's powerful. So next time you see an offer that feels too good to be true, pause, verify, and if it's a scam, report it. You could be the reason someone else avoids becoming a victim. If you think you've spotted a scam, don't stay silent. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, even a coworker. You'd be surprised how many people have seen or experienced something similar. Sharing your story can help you process what happened and confirm that your suspicions are valid. Then, take the next step. Report it. Don't just delete the email or block the caller. Every report matters, and it might save someone else from losing their life savings. You can report scams to the Federal Trade Commission, which investigates fraud across industries. If it's a market manipulation scheme or a shady investment pitch, you can also file with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And for tax-related schemes or major financial crimes, the IRS Criminal Investigation Division steps in. These agencies share information, work together, and build powerful cases to take scammers off the streets. Your report might seem small, one call, one email, but it's part of a much bigger picture. Federal investigators work tirelessly to track fraudulent operations. They analyse bank transfers, subpoena records, trace shell companies, and follow money across borders. What seems like a single scam might be just one branch of a massive operation. They uncover patterns that the average person might never see, connections between fake companies, repeat offenders, and even organised crime groups. And it all starts with tips from people like you. Every piece of information you provide adds a critical puzzle piece to their investigation. The sooner law enforcement can connect the dots, the faster they can freeze assets, shut down operations, and protect more people from becoming victims. While victims struggle to pay rent, rebuild their savings, and piece their lives back together, fraudsters often live a life of luxury. They hide behind gated communities and luxury brands, wearing tailored suits, driving exotic cars, and vacationing in places most people only dream about. Every dollar they spend is a reminder of what was stolen from hard-working people. For the victims, it's not just about money. It's about lost trust, lost security, and lost opportunities. A retirement fund wiped out, a child's education delayed, or a small business forced to close. The pain lingers long after the headlines fade. But no matter how untouchable these fraudsters think they are, the law eventually catches up. Behind the scenes, investigators gather documents, trace transactions, and work with prosecutors to build a case strong enough to stand up in court. And when the moment comes, justice begins to move. Civil lawsuits are one way victims seek justice. They may take years, gathering evidence, scheduling hearings, facing motions and delays. But they are a crucial step in holding fraudsters accountable. Civil courts evaluate evidence carefully, call witnesses, and weigh the harm done before issuing a verdict. When a court determines liability, it sends a message. It says, "This happened. It was wrong, and someone must pay." Judgments can order fraudsters to return stolen money, pay damages, or face restrictions that prevent them from targeting others in the future. Every case sets an example. It shows that fraud, no matter how clever, no matter how well hidden, has consequences. And those consequences matter not just for the victims in that case, but for every potential victim who might be saved by the warning it sends. Civil lawsuits are one way victims seek justice. They may take years, gathering evidence, scheduling hearings, facing motions and delays, but they are a crucial step in holding fraudsters accountable. Civil courts evaluate evidence carefully, call witnesses, and weigh the harm done before issuing a verdict. When a court determines liability, it sends a message. It says, "This happened. It was wrong, and someone must pay." Judgments can order fraudsters to return stolen money, pay damages, or face restrictions that prevent them from targeting others in the future. Every case sets an example. It shows that fraud, no matter how clever, no matter how well hidden, has consequences. And those consequences matter not just for the victims in that case, but for every potential victim who might be saved by the warning it sends.
Luxury built on lies doesn't last forever. Justice may be slow, but when it arrives, it has the power to strip away the illusion and reveal the truth. For victims, that truth is the first step toward healing. Reporting fraud is straightforward. You don't need a lawyer, and you don't need to know every detail. Just what happened to you or what you observed. Visit official websites like the Federal Trade Commission, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or the IRS Criminal Investigation Division. These agencies have dedicated online portals where you can submit your information securely. You'll be asked for basic information: dates, names, companies involved, and what was promised versus what actually happened. If you have supporting documents, receipts, emails, contracts, or even screenshots, include them. Every piece of evidence makes it easier for investigators to see the full picture. This isn't just another online form. It's a chance to stop someone from scamming another victim. Every day, scams steal millions from people just like you. From fake investment schemes to Ponzi operations, fraudsters see everyone as a target, and they don't stop. Maybe you've already seen it happen. A strange call, a convincing email, or an online ad that looked legitimate until it wasn't. For many families, falling victim to fraud isn't just about losing money. It's about losing trust, peace of mind, and a sense of security. Scammers want you to feel isolated and embarrassed. They hope you won't tell anyone what happened. But the truth is, you're not alone. Millions of people are targeted every year. And when we talk about scams, when we report them, we take away the fraudsters' power. Let's start with why so many people stay silent. Maybe they feel ashamed that they fell for the scam. Maybe they think no one will believe them. Maybe they worry that reporting won't make a difference. But every single report matters. It's not just a complaint, it's evidence. It's a puzzle piece that helps investigators see the full picture of how scammers operate. The more pieces we have, the faster we can shut them down. Have you or someone you love ever been targeted by a scam? How did it happen? Share your story in the comments. You never know who might read it and realize they're not alone, or who you might help avoid the same trap. Fraudsters are becoming more creative every year. They use glossy ads, slick websites, and even fake social media profiles to look legitimate. They create urgency. Act now or you'll miss out. Because they want you to skip thinking and go straight to sending money or personal information. And that's why we're making these videos, to slow the scammers down by arming you with knowledge. Because when you know what to look for, you're harder to trick. In upcoming videos, we're going to showcase cases that have gone to trial and guilty verdicts. From most common and most dangerous scams out there. Investment scams that promise guaranteed returns or exclusive crypto opportunities. Romance scams where criminals pretend to fall in love online to drain victims' savings. Charity and disaster scams that pop up whenever there's a crisis in the news. Grandparent scams. Business email compromise, where companies lose millions to fake invoices and hacked emails. Tech support scams that start with a pop-up warning and end with stolen bank accounts. Phishing and fake ads that appear at the very top of search engines. We're focusing on how to start protecting yourself and your family right now. One of the most powerful things you can do is talk to the people you love. Sit down with your parents or grandparents and explain how common scams work. Show them how to recognize a fake call. Teach them that it's okay to hang up on someone who pressures them to act fast. Older adults are often targeted because scammers assume they are polite, trusting, and have savings. But knowledge is power, And just a short conversation could save your family thousands of dollars. The same goes for children and teenagers. They can be victims too. From fake job offers to phishing attempts through online games, scammers know how to lure young people into giving away personal information. Talk to them about double-checking before they click links or download files. Teach them that free online deals often have hidden costs. And here's something most people don't realize. Scammers use the same tools legitimate businesses use. That's why it's so important to pause before you act. If a deal sounds too good to be true, verify it first. Look up reviews from multiple sources, not just the ones on the website. Check if the company is registered. Search for its name along with the word scam or complaint to see what other people are saying. Remember, legitimate organizations will never pressure you to act immediately. They won't demand gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency payments, and they'll always give you a way to verify who they are. If you think you've spotted a scam, don't stay silent. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, a coworker. Sometimes just saying it out loud helps you realize something isn't right. Then, report it. You can contact the Federal Trade Commission, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or the IRS Criminal Investigation Division. You can even report fraud to your local police department. Your report might be the one that helps stop the scam before it hurts someone else. Federal investigators work tirelessly to track fraudulent operations. They follow the money. They trace documents. They uncover patterns that most of us would never notice. But they rely on tips and reports from the public, from people just like you, to get started. While victims struggle, fraudsters often live a life of luxury. Mansions, sports cars, lavish parties, all funded by deceit. But no matter how successful they appear, the law eventually catches up. Civil lawsuits are one way victims seek justice. Courts evaluate evidence, hold hearings, and determine liability. Every case sends a message that fraud has consequences and that people are willing to fight back. Reporting fraud is straightforward. Visit official websites, submit the details of what you observed, and provide any supporting documentation you have. It's not just a form, it's a chance to make a real difference. Fraud can happen to anyone, but your voice matters. Talking about scams removes the shame. Reporting scams builds cases. Sharing this information protects others. Together, we can make it harder for scammers to operate. Together, we can protect our parents, our children, and our neighbors. And together, we can stop fraud before it spreads.
Scams thrive in silence, but together we can stop them. If you've ever been targeted by a scam, or if you know someone who has, share your story in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to stay safe.
Scams may seem random, but they follow patterns. In fact, some of the same frauds that were common 20 years ago are still around today, just repackaged in slicker, more convincing ways. According to data from the Federal Trade Commission and the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, the top 8 fraud categories reported every year include investment and Ponzi schemes, promises of guaranteed returns or can't-miss opportunities. These accounted for billions in losses last year, with thousands of guilty verdicts in U.S. courts. Business email compromise, BEC. Scammers impersonate executives or vendors to trick businesses into sending wire transfers. Online shopping and auction scams. Fake e-commerce stores or sellers take your money but never deliver the goods. Romance and relationship scams. Fraudsters build emotional connections online, then ask for money. Lottery and prize scams. You've won messages that require upfront fees or taxes. Tech support scams. Pop-ups or calls claiming your computer is infected and needs fixing for a fee. Charity and disaster relief fraud. Fake charities appear after natural disasters, stealing donations from well-meaning donors. Identity theft and account takeover. Criminals steal personal data to open credit lines or drain accounts. Each of these frauds has led to major prosecutions and many guilty verdicts. But for every scammer caught, countless others are still out there looking for their next victim. So how do you spot scams before they happen? It starts with understanding the behavioral red flags that almost all scams have in common. Urgency. If someone tells you that you must act immediately, send money right now, or risk losing everything, pause. Real businesses rarely operate with that level of pressure. Secrecy. Scammers will often tell you not to tell anyone else. Not your bank, not your family, not your friends. That is a red flag. Too good to be true. Promises of guaranteed returns, unbelievable discounts, or prizes you never entered to win should set off alarm bells. Untraceable payment requests. Watch out if they ask for payment by wire transfer, gift cards, or cryptocurrency. These are hard to trace and nearly impossible to recover. Remember, scams target everyone, but some groups are especially vulnerable. Seniors are often targeted because they may have retirement savings and can be more trusting. Parents are targeted with fake school fees or urgent messages about their children. Young adults get hit with fake job offers, online store scams, or crypto opportunities. Your job is to stay alert and protect those around you. Have conversations with your parents and grandparents about common scams. Show your kids what phishing emails look like. Encourage coworkers to double-check suspicious requests before transferring money. And don't forget this: every report matters. When you report a scam, your information doesn't just disappear into a black hole. It helps investigators find connections, map out fraud rings, and ultimately bring criminals to justice. Take, for example, the cases where investigators were able to recover millions for victims, but only because enough people reported similar scams. These cases often begin with a single tip that turns into a major federal investigation. Scams are designed to make you feel isolated, ashamed, and afraid to tell anyone. Don't let them win.
When you share your experience with friends, family, and law enforcement, you're not just protecting yourself. You're protecting everyone else who could be targeted next. And if you think, well, it's too late, I already lost money, it's not too late to act. Reporting after the fact still matters. You may help others get their money back, or prevent a scammer from targeting someone else tomorrow. We're building a community here, a place where people can learn, share, and stay one step ahead of fraudsters. If you've ever been targeted, let us know in the comments. If you have tips or warning signs others should know about, share them. Together, we can make fraud harder to pull off.
So stay vigilant. Report suspicious activity as soon as you see it. Your story matters. Your report matters. And your voice might be the one that saves someone else from becoming the next victim.